And welcome back to the Randy Jafar set champs here at House Rules Game, and we're moving into semi-finals.
Semifinals, baby.
Next to last match we've got today, we're gonna see Jake has stayed on stream for us, and we're bringing on Adam. We spoke with Adam just a little bit ago uh, about his last set champs and all that kind of his tournament experience. I'm super excited to see him play again. He's a masterclass of playing uh, Sapphire Amethyst, this Blurple deck that he's been on for probably months and sets and everything. He's literally been playing it since like the inception of Blurple.
Yeah, no, he's been on this for a very long time, and he's got a lot of experience with it. And seeing Jake here, I'm curious to see which Amethyst is going to take it on top now, because it is a Amethyst kind of matchup here. We've got Amethyst Steel and then Amethyst Sapphire here, so it's going to be a very nice match, and it looks like they are ready. So let's go ahead and check out what these games are going to be here.
Yeah, we're all ready. So yeah, like you said, this is like a Saph or an Amethyst like mirror. We just saw a steel deck mirror. Now we're gonna see an Amethyst deck mirror, and I think that's pretty ironic. Starting off with Jake playing the Magic Room. I believe Jake was actually our first seed moving into quarterfinals, which was pretty interesting. Um, so he's gonna be able to take the play basically every match he takes for his top 8 journey here.
Yeah, and we forgot to talk a little bit about the top 8 here, of what are our semifinal matchups, a little bit. But there was some pretty cool matchups coming into it. Sadly, some of my favorite decks kind of didn't get to make it. I was rooting for one deck a little bit because I am a Amber Steel player at heart, and I love me some Amber Steel. But sadly, it didn't get to make it through the semifinals. But it was Jorge that beat that deck with the Ruby Sapphire deck, and we've seen his deck before in the past, and we know it's definitely a really good one against that deck. It's really gonna be a really tough match for that anyway.
Yeah, I believe the other side of the bracket is George and Patrick, and we saw Patrick earlier in the day on Emerald Amethyst. So we'll have to check in a little bit later and see how they're doing. Right now, starting off with the typical blurple things. Adam getting this bell out for free. This is super strong for this deck, especially against something like um Amethyst Steel. That like it does play a lot of like smaller characters, and you want to be able to trade. Like Adam has to take the role of kind of control deck here, where he needs to keep the board under some amount of control. Because Amethyst Steel against Blurple is one of those decks that can just like go underneath of it, and aggro out, and like Adam was saying earlier, he's not playing Monstro anymore, because he feels it's just a little too slow. That there's other cards that do the job better, but there's no denying that it does absolutely help against these aggro matchups. Um, so hopefully he sees all of the cards he needs to deal with this aggro deck, and hopefully Jake sees what he needs.
Well, the nice thing is this isn't the Amethyst Steel is not super an aggro deck. I feel like it's more of a mid-rangey type of deck because it does have some cheap characters. It does have some ways to get some cheap lore pretty quickly, but it doesn't feel like it's as like aggressive as the Diggy version of Amber Steel and even like Chernadogs. It doesn't feel like it's that type of aggro, which is what
No,
really makes Blurple struggle a lot more is how fast paced. This is that a little bit slower version of aggro, and that's what I kind of think is kind of more of like that mid-rangey type vibe
kind
to it.
of. It plays the role between both because it doesn't have the ability to grind like a typical mid-range deck, but it does have the speed to get underneath of what it needs to. So it tries to play the role of like this weird aggressive mid-range deck, or like some kind of like tempo deck, and really just push where it can. And it does have the removal to be like, okay, I do have the ability to take out threats when I need to.
Yeah,
But
and we see our some fun things. We got Genie on the field here, and we've got our snake here, Madam M Snake, and a crab on the field, just looking at each other here, figuring out how we want to do some things. We've got some lore gain already on Jake's side here, and being at 4 lore now, waiting, just kind of getting that early lore gain, setting up till about like that 15 mark that you were saying the last time. It was that 15 lore is that kind of like sweet spot number where you get to that point, you can start playing those characters that have the on-enter abilities that gain you lore, like White Rose, the Goat, and of course this giant Cobra as well.
Yeah. Adam is no stranger to having his opponent get to 18 lore and then like controlling the game from there. It's kind of like what he does. So Adam is not entirely worried about his opponent doing too much of it, but he, like I said, and like you just said, he does have to be a little more careful, especially against Amethyst Steel, where they can just sometimes go, "Oh, hey, wait, I win the game now," and you're like, "Oh, I thought I had another turn or two." Um, does take out the crab with both of these two characters. Now, the other thing is that Adam's deck has a ton of evasives. Um, so Jake in the last game was relying on his evasives to beat Emerald Steel a little bit. Genies were huge for him. Anything that like could dodge that had to be used with like hard removal. Adam has a bunch of answers to that, and so he can't just like throw his genies out the window without being like extremely careful that an Elsa's not going to come down right after it.
Yeah, no, these Elsas are going to be kind of crazy to deal with coming out and answering a lot of these characters that will come down. Can be tough to deal with.
It's kind of funny. The roles have like kind of switched where now Jake doesn't have a ton of evasive answers, and Adam has all of the evasives. Whereas last time Jake had like more evasives than the Emerald Steel deck, and I think it's a little role shift that we've seen between the two decks.
Yeah, the evasives are definitely a key thing to have on the field, and not being able to answer them is definitely tough.
Adam also just has like every card in it in his deck in his hand. Blurple, we said it earlier. We were surprised earlier when we saw that Blurple deck that like wasn't playing Finders Keepers and was like running out of cards in its hand. Um, because Blurple just usually draws so many cards. We were surprised. I do see in the chat this is Adam versus Jake. Just so people are aware.
Yes, Marcus is not supposed to be. It is supposed to be Adam.
Thank you for catching that though. We appreciate it. Again, Adam just playing all of the evasives. Like I said, he's just gonna play so many. So Jake did find a Baboom, so he can take out this other genie if he really wants to. He can actually take out the genie and the Elsa. He can actually take out both genies.
He could. There is a chance to take out both of these at
I
this
think he
point.
has to. Actually, no. I don't think he has the ink for it. He'd have to hard play Baboom and play the Cobra.
Mm,
Or he plays the dock and doesn't get the dock trigger, but he kind of needs the dock trigger at the moment.
yeah, he kind of needs that dock trigger to help trigger certain cards to go off. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we have the Turnabout here. He's going to quest with it, and then banishing it to draw a card. We do get a library here.
Okay.
Library's not bad. This can definitely help in the early game here against Blurple, because there's not really a lot of great answers against it. But we're going to see it ink anyway, so you know what? Who cares? We're not going to see it.
Lorple's one of those decks, though. It is a little bit better at taking out locations than like Emerald Steel. So I do like here he does get to play his Cobra if he wants, and then he can Baboom something, get something off the board like this damaged genie or this Elsa. Probably looking at getting rid of the genie. Just doesn't want to deal with the pressure that it exerts.
We're actually going to discard the Baboom,
Okay.
and gaining the lore from Cobra here.
Probably wants to play the dock this turn. I imagine he's gonna sing and then play the dock.
Yeah, it seems like what's probably the option here. Now we're debating on which one we take out. We either take out this genie that already has damage on it, or we take out this Elsa, which does have this Russian evasive. And it's a little bit have more willpower in it. But we'll see exactly what he is going to take out and target here, because he can't knock out the genie that doesn't have any damage, because he's only going to be able to do 3.
I think he takes out the Elsa simply because he doesn't want Adam to reset it with like a fox or something and get more utility out of the Elsa and like, okay, now I get to replay it. He wants to do then he thinks he's already like winning the lore race, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna take the utility card over the card he wants to use to win the game.
Yeah, that's definitely probably the smartest choice here is to take that out, just because it is that utility. It exerts anything that that Jake will play, and now I can challenge into it and either potentially take it out and banish it in a challenge, or make it so that some other characters can challenge into it when it just got played.
Yeah. Rush being super super strong. This Elsa card has been a mainstay for so long, and I expect it to continue its reign even through set rotation here.
Yeah, no, and especially because it does get a new alt art of a card, because it
Yeah.
does get that purple kind of border that we've seen on some of these cards. Because we've seen like Amber having the Lilo Escape Artist, we've seen Mickey, we have a giant Tink coming out, which is going to be really cool to see, and then of course now the Elsa as well. And there's been some other ones I've been seeing floating around that they'll be releasing here in the future, but this Elsa is going to be a really good one to get.
Finally see Hades and Adam special. He loves this card. I know he said earlier he really wanted to see Hades get like a reprint for set rotation, and I know I can't blame him. I love Hercules the movie and Hades as a villain, but this card is also just very good, and I know Adam wants to see it just specifically for. Well,
Yeah, no, Hades is good here, and we see a genie being played by Jake, and what this genie can do. Just drawing some cards, replenishing some hand here. Now we do get to see a Shmi in hand, which we do get to see to play, and we also have a Diablo, and I don't know what the last card in Jake's hand is.
yeah, I didn't see it quite yet.
It's like just barely flashing by, and I can't quite see, but it looks like we are going to have Pete quest and debating on if Doc is going to quest or not, because he has the potential of bouncing it back. So I wonder if he does have either a snake or fox in hand.
He might. That's why he's like wants to protect it. But I know Adam has a Let It Go and another Hades in it. I think this turn he's probably gonna like get rid of Smee and Genie this turn with the Hades and the Let It Go. But he could also target this Doc. Again, we just noted that like he might have a way to bounce it and might want to try to reuse the trigger. And Adam might catch that and say, "Hey, he didn't quest with that," and that's like a card you don't care about anymore. So I wonder if he's going to try and bounce it with a Fox or something and get it back, and wants to get that so he doesn't keep drawing a bunch of cards.
Well, bad news. Jake doesn't have any of those cards. In fact, that card that we were wondering what it was, yeah, it's a game referee Pete. So he has a game referee Pete and a Diablo in hand.
Oh,
So
okay.
if he can draw one of those cards, either the fox or the snake here, he could bounce back that Doc and maybe just kind of refill some of those dead cards in his hand if he doesn't really want to play them. Potentially doing that and then challenging into this Hades. If he gets a fox, would be great. Fox would definitely be nice, but doesn't look like we're going to get too far with that, because we do get to see a Let It Go being played from Adam, selecting the genie, and then we get to see a Peter Pan come down.
Yeah, I think Adam's been on this Peter Pan Shadow Finder for quite a little bit here. I think he quite likes this card, especially mixed with like Iago's. He quite likes this card just to give those cards rush because like I think that's what he's talking about when he's talking about like Monstro not being quite um not that there are other cards that do it better, right?
Hmm.
I think he's talking about like Shadowfinder plus Iago. Just they're both good cards on their own, but do um Monster's job just a little bit better.
And hey, I just want to say I called it. He drew the fox for
Yeah, I
turn. He
saw that.
totally did. I was like, wow, okay. And then we get to see this Doc being played now.
I think he has a boom
It's
and another
great.
dock in his hand.
Did he get another Doc from Doc's ability? It's going to
I
be
think so.
fantastic. He did. He has a Doc and a Baboom. Okay. So we can put some damage down on this genie with this Baboom, and then this fox gets to take out and banish in a challenge against this Hades, which can be good.
Yeah,
And then you don't have to worry about bouncing it back. This Hades can be very, because I think only Adam only has one Hades in the deck, I believe.
he's got more.
Is he? I think he only went down. Oh, he's got four. Never mind. He
Yeah.
went to four. Okay.
No, he's 100%. Didn't you just hear me? He wants that card reprinted. He's 100%
Oh,
slamming for. No, this man always sees Hades. Yeah, that's like his card, man.
it might have been the
It
other
feels
list I
like he
saw.
has 5 often.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Well, with the Fox, he usually does.
well,
Um, Notably, Jake actually was everything was exerted that turn, so he actually couldn't push uh push more there. Like he couldn't take out the genie and stuff. Um, and Jake did decided just not to. He just decided to hang out for a bit, not quest too much. Just quested with the Smee, realizing like, hey, I'm just gonna quest next turn maybe decide what see what Adam's trying to do. He knows that like Adam's not playing any P prepares obviously or anything that's like gonna board wipe him. Maybe he's a little bit worried about like a Monstro coming down and just wiping the entire board. So wants to try to secure like a game win immediately rather than just quest with everything.
Well, just so you know, Adam has another Hades in his hand.
Oh yeah, he's had that for a
I
while.
was like, man, got Hades. There's those Hades. And I was thinking of must have been the other Bullet deck that we saw earlier that was running only one Hades.
Yes, I think so.
I think it was only I remember seeing somebody was playing only one Hades.
It was definitely lower on copies. I can't remember how many, but it was definitely not. I don't think it was 4.
No. I do remember that. It was not four.
This is the time where Adam starts to like if he's gonna take control of a game, this is where he does it. Down by like 6 on turn like 15.
Oh yeah.
That's just when he decides to, you know what, I'm gonna turn the tables now. And that's what he.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he comes back real quick from being 0 lore and the opponent can be at like almost 20, sit at 19 and make him sit at 19 for like 4 turns and not be able to gain anything. And Adam just comes in and goes, "Cool. All right, I'll win in 2 turns."
Yeah, well, he loves to build like a really really wide board kind of quest to end a game.
So we get to play this crab here, giving Doc that extra strength and then having this baboom banishing the genie here. And we're going to see what happens. We get to see another Doc getting played, drawing 2 cards. We get to see a Shmee and a Magic Broom, and we're going to play this Magic Broom down.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong spot from Jake here. Just a bunch of characters. Goes to 15. Has the game on the board for the next turn. We know Adam does have um the Hades. And I'm not sure if he has any other. He has another let it go. Does he have 2 Hades in his hand right now?
Right now, yeah, it looks like he has 2 in his
That's
hand.
pretty funny. He
Wow.
always does. The only unfortunate part is I don't think he has enough ink to play both of them in the same turn. So he's gonna have to either sing with this crab or challenge something with this crab, and I'm curious as to what he does with that. I think he can take out at least 2 things this, whether it's with Hades and let it go, or challenging with crab and let it go, or challenging with crab and Hades. He's got to make something happen.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of answer to this board because it's going to get out of control really quickly. And I mean, he is at the sweet number 15.
Yeah,
This is that spot where he is looking for those cards that give him free lore pretty much. And I mean, if he doesn't get rid of anything now, he does the quest and he goes to 20 anyway, just by questing. So there has to be some sort of answering to the board. Oh, we get to see a Bell come down here and move the damage from Tamatoa over to the crab and banish the crab.
yeah, it's pretty good. This crab, yeah, should have 1 damage marked on it, but he can heal it with the popsicle, which is also relevant. Um, so Adam's in a like not the. I mean, it's not dire, but it's not bad either. He does have like if Jake decides to quest out next turn, does have decent answers to what is on the board though. I think just saw strength of a raging fire, so he might be able to take this crab out this turn. Draws another. There's a genie. Well, here maybe a library. I wouldn't be surprised if he inks this library.
Yeah, that could be an option here because it's not really useful right now. It's a little too late in the game, but we do see the strengths being played and banishing the Bell here, and just leaving this Tamato on the field.
Have a good feeling that Adam might be out of this one. We'll see what he can do. He's a miracle worker.
Yeah, I mean he is happy, just like Tamato is happy as a clam.
He can only take two things out, and unfortunately, his opponent's at 18. I think he might be done. This might be game one.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely going to be interesting here. Because Adam's just thinking here. We got the two Hades. We got to let it go, and a friend here, trying to decide how do we want to answer this board. Because we do get to have this genie. We have the Shmi on the field, and two other characters. So there has to be a way to answer three characters at this point. Because it's the only way for him to kind of at least survive, and hopefully that he doesn't top deck into any of those lore gang characters. We play a friends, playing its cost of 3 ink, and hoping for the best here, seeing what we draw with the last 6, and going into 7 ink now, and deciding what card are we going to play.
Yep, skips it up. Okay,
All
that's what I
right.
was waiting for, to see if he realized he was. I think the turn that he really fell behind was when he didn't target that dock. I mean, we know Jake got it off the top of the deck, but even then, even if Jake didn't have his hand, Adam sees that he doesn't quest with it, and I wonder if you're always supposed to be like, hey, he didn't quest with it. I don't know what's in his hand, but he didn't quest with it, so he must have decided that it was important not to, and just take it from him anyway. See if that was like his only out to like having no cards and things. I think if Jake doesn't get that dock trigger again, he's in a rougher spot than he was, for
Yeah, no,
sure.
I mean, he looked like even after with those dock draws, it didn't look like he was in a good position. It took him a little bit, but since he did get those free 2 cards, he was able to go through the deck a little bit quicker and get those cards he did need, and that was definitely key for him to get that.
Yeah, I do believe that we just heard from the other side of the bracket that it was Patrick versus George, and I do believe Patrick did take that on Emerald Amethyst.
Yeah, so he did take it. So that's we saw that match not too long ago. So that's really cool to see that deck come out here. I mean,
I think Patrick played it really well too. So I'm
yeah,
excited to see him back on
and the
back on the
the
stream.
funny thing is that he's played against 2 Ruby Sapphire decks. He's played against 2 Ruby Sapphire decks in his top 8 so
That's
far.
crazy. And
He's played against Sama and he's played against George.
interestingly enough, oh no,
The
I was gonna say
only
I thought Patrick and Sama played earlier, but they didn't. That was a Ruby
no.
Sapphire Mirror. Yeah, he had to play against 2 Ruby Sapphire decks, and this deck.
In fact, I'm gonna throw it up on screen here. I'm gonna throw up the kind of the matches of the top 8, and you guys can see what we have here in the top 8, um, and see all of our standings so far as we're waiting for this last one to come through of which one we're going to see. And this match is gonna be really nice, but this top 8 is gonna be really fun. So far, it's
Yeah,
been looking great.
yeah. I think the players are just about ready, moving, about ready to start. I think Adam will be on the play here, and being on the play for Blurple is pretty huge. He just needs to keep away. He needs to find a way to keep Jake off of drawing cards. I think one of his big things is he should be targeting down these docks. Like, he sees a dock come down, and like, you just need to get rid of it. He does not need his opponent bouncing them. He saw how strong it was last game. I think he just needs to be like, hey, I see a dock. I need to get rid of it.
Yeah, no, those stocks can definitely be scary, and I think you're right. You have to get rid of those, because I mean, it was a prime example of what happened when you didn't get rid of them.
Yeah.
And potentially being able to bounce back that dock was going to be rough. So have to answer at this point.
Seeing the typical starts from both these decks playing a one drop, and also seeing Stale from Adam. I know that's like one of his favorite cards to be playing. I think if he has a card he wants to be playing this other Hades, he wants to be playing the Sail into a single game. Loves Sail over Tipo, typically, but the redundancy he gets from both. We didn't, actually. I now that I'm thinking about it, I just saw it off to the side here. He didn't actually get to see his Radigan last game. I know
That's
he's playing
right.
that one of.
Yeah, we didn't get to see it. I know he was talking about it in the interview earlier. He was talking about this Radigan, which is a very interesting card. Having Ward is really nice, not so it'd be targeted by anything. So like from Zeus or anything like that. And then if you didn't put anything in your inkwell, it does, however, get banished. That's the only thing about it, but it quests for 4. And it's a 6/7. It's a huge body of a card.
And Adam, I mean, Adam always has like cards in his hand to ink, so it's fine. It's just that I don't know if Radigan is like that useful in this matchup, simply because he has to like deal with Jake before he can actually win the game. Like he doesn't actually get to start playing the game and like start winning the game until he knows like, okay, hey, Jake is like running out of cards in his hand, running out of gas, running out of characters. Oh, okay, now I can start questing. Because even last game we didn't start him. He didn't quest once until like way later in the game. He really has to keep Jake under control and not let him go too crazy.
Yeah, and now we get to see a fox coming down here. Just giving a decent body on here, being that 4 strength, potentially putting a threat on the field just to have this big strength power of a character. Um, so nothing can get exerted next turn or anything comes in. He doesn't have to worry about it too much.
We do see a Finders Keepers in Adam's hand, though. Again, this is one of those cards like I'm not sure he's going to be able to play in this match. Jake might just be a little too fast, a little too aggressive. Jake has been taking a slightly slower approach this game. Uh, I think by this time, this time last game, he was at like 10 lore or something already, and we were just like, huh? What did you do? So definitely slightly slower, but this deck doesn't mind.
Yeah, it can definitely make a comeback pretty quickly anyway. You think it's far behind, and all of a sudden you have gaining lore right real quick. And it can gain a bunch of lore, and we get to see 2 Shmis here, and this is an example of gaining lore quickly. These Shmis are definitely going to be questing at least once, if not twice each, gaining a bunch of lore coming the next couple turns.
Notably, too, Jake has an Elsa in his hand, so if um Adam decides that he does want to challenge one of these Smees, he does have the answer to crack back at this genie immediately, which is like super good for Jake.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a good thing. We got a strength too, which is nice. So this fox can also sing strength if need to be. So we get to put down one other character, and fox gets to sing the strength, knocking out this genie if we wanted to. But it looks like we get to see an Elsa coming down, exerting one of the Shmis, and then sending both Elsas into it.
Yeah, just trying to keep. He doesn't want Jake to get too, like I said, too out of hand. So he's using his Elsa to get him out of there. And if Jake does decide to play Zone Elsa or Sing Strength, I don't think he cares about these Elsas too much. They've kind of done their job. Honestly, Adam might hope that Jake plays this Elsa and sings Strength on his 2 Elsa so he can keep this genie.
Yeah, that's definitely probably what he's hoping for here. Because, I mean, there's not much of an answer other words because we have this magic broom. We inked a fox, and the last card he had in his hand is a white rose. So this white rose can gain him lure later on, if he needed to play it and go from there.
Yeah, I wonder if so Jake doesn't actually have any docks or anything in his hand, so his card draw is a little bit small. So maybe he needs to find something here to like get him his resources back.
Hey, we see the play.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I kind of thought. Um, Adam wants to keep his genie. That's okay. The only thing that he might have wanted to keep an Elsa for is one of these let it goes in his hand. But man, this is Black Bolt. They always have like 9,000, and he's got a Hades in his hand, of course. So like always does. Never doesn't have it.
yeah, Hades. Also got a fox and a Tamatoa, and I don't know what the other card is at the second to last one.
Finders Keepers, I
Is it
believe.
Finders
I think
Keepers?
it's still
Okay.
fine. Yeah, he's had that for a
Okay.
while.
And yeah, so he's sitting on these cards, thinking what he needs to do here, because he is at 6 ink, trying to figure out, okay, what do we want to do? What's the path that we need to do? We have this Elsa that's here that can challenge into this genie, and there is a potential that a crab comes down and giving that Elsa extra strength, and wondering if that's the route to take here. But we have the genie actually challenging the Shmi, and then we get to see him play down this Hades. targeting the Elsa, putting in the Inkwell.
Yeah, he doesn't want the Elsa to, like I said earlier, like crack back on this genie. So he uses the genie protect, or the Elsa, or the genie to protect the genie, the Hades to protect the genie. A lot of characters, and but does get to take out the Smee with the genie, so he protects his threat that like can win him the game.
The nice thing, well, he does have this Fox in his hand, so he can bounce back this Genie next turn and heal it pretty much, and then getting to play it again to draw a card, which is going to be really nice.
I also know that Adam's a huge proponent of bouncing Hades a bunch. Like that's like the thing he wants to do. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him do that either.
That is true as well, yeah.
He always looks for when Brandon stepped in for a second, it seems like he always has 5 Hades. It's really like he has 8 because he just bounces all of his Hades all the time. It's just like what he likes to do.
I mean, we just call a judge on that.
Well, you know.
Even that wasn't enough because he had to add the let it goes.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I need Hades. Like earlier, he said he needed Hades like 5 and 6, and I was like, but you bounce all your Hades, so like, don't you have like an extra 8 copies? Like, come on, man. How many Hades do you need?
Not enough is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not enough Hades.
I'm actually surprised he doesn't play like Into the Unknown. Just be like, yeah, well, I also have this one that's also like Hades. I think if every card in this deck could be Hades, he would play.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He probably would. That sounds exactly like what he would do. You just need to throw that Stitch in there.
Oh.
I know, the Stitch is just a fun card. I just want to play Stitch. Stitch is great.
Hey, there's a real where the Stitch gets played. I've liked seeing. No, I think they were.
No,
just,
you're fine.
They were incredibly still for a second. I was very wow. That was. You're right, Brandon. That was jarring.
Both hands frozen in the same spot. I'm like, oh.
Jake is like a statue over there.
Yeah, he is. I mean, we thought Gargoyles was going to be coming, but that's
Yeah,
not until
right.
next year.
Crazy. Wow. Okay. Threw me for a loop. Woo.
Oh, all right. Well, we do actually get to see him bounce back the genie. He did bounce back the genie and not the Hades this time. So
Oh,
he
I'm not
did
surprised.
get to
Yeah.
heal it, and then we're gonna get to play it probably next turn. But he did play the Let It Go, however, to put back the opposing genie in the Inkwell.
He does have 2 genies in his hand. And I think he has enough ink to play both of them next turn, so that's pretty good for him.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
a lot of pressure.
he has at least 8, if not 9.
As I was saying earlier, that Stitch, I had thought about playing it in. I was playing Emerald Sapphire for a little while. Yes, people can call me a monster. That's okay. I actually really like that deck, and I was actually surprised when I didn't see that in there. I imagine if the deck manages to survive rotation, we could see it in there after rotation. But I had thought about trying it in that deck at some point instead of doing Himatoa. Just have like Stitch with the Hayden Inkcaster, so everything's inkable, and I could just always get these Stitches back.
Oh yeah, no, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because Stitch is a fun card to play around with, and it has a lot of potential. I think. Right now it's a little slower than what we would like to see, but that's fine. I think rotation is definitely going to help that card out quite a bit.
So I do think Jake has no cards in his hand right now. And Adam has
Shocker.
basically a book.
This is a shocker for me because I mean you have Adam who's always going to have cards because it's Blurple, and then Amethyst Steel just never has cards in his hand. Never has cards.
And I'm surprised because Jake has been really good at like finding his docks and being able to play them and like chain docks and stuff. So this is the first time real time I think we've seen Jake, other than against like Emerald Steel where that's what they're doing. I think this is the first time we've truly seen Jake have no cards in his hand, just due to not finding docks or anything of the such. Find Shadow Finder here, taking out the White Rose, and I think this puts Adam in a pretty prime position to start taking over this game. We know he has 2 genies in his hand. He still has his other Let It Go there, so anything that does come down is probably going away. That's even if he cares about this Calhoun that much.
I mean, it does knock out or banish the Hades here because it does have 4 damage on it. So this Calhoun can take care of. Oh, we see the one of. We see it.
There's our Radigan, our biggest boy.
And we're just going to go ahead and go to the next
Jake
game.
realizes that, yeah, Adam has so many cards in his hand, and he cannot deal with this Radigan. So smart. Again, I think I want to highlight this again, even though I've done it a bunch. I think Jake's been really, really good at it. It's just like, hey, have I lost the game? Even though Adam was like at 0, I don't even think he had quested at all. Basically, he was like, I can't beat this route again with no hand, with no resources. I just can't do it, and I don't want to waste my brain power trying to when I could be focusing on game 3, especially because he'll be on the play. Like, again, super heads up, super smart. Gotta save your energy. Playing 8 rounds is a lot. Um, it's not easy to do and stay awake and stay alert for an entire day.
Yeah, no, 8 rounds is definitely a long one. I mean, you're almost getting into the DLC type of tournaments here of being
Yeah.
9 rounds. It's been definitely a long one, and we're slowly getting there. And this match has been good and it's been great. Both players have been done a fantastic job of playing these decks and piloting them to this position that they are at. I mean, they are here for a reason, and both have done extremely well.
Yeah, they're definitely showcasing like, hey, I am. I'm not familiar with Jake too much. I don't know if he's around the store very often. But showing just like a masterclass of like, hey, I've been clearly been playing this for a while, and I am a master of my deck, or like I'm very skilled at it and I know what I'm doing. Both players have done a fantastic job of just knowing when they can challenge, when they can trade, what they need in a matchup to win it. Every time it's been very nice to see. It's like it's incredible. These players are highly skilled.
It just doesn't get better than game 3 in top tables.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially semifinals. This is definitely a very nice match here.
yeah. What Jake decides to keep here. I think Jake wants to like try to rely on his goats and stuff a little bit more. Goats, roses, like if he can, he was at 10 there, and if he played any amount of like a couple of cards that just triggered and gained him lore, like he's probably easily puts him at 15. That stuff adds up so fast.
Yeah, he can get right under the feet of Adam here if he gets to play a bunch of those cards. Gaining those lore. I think the location's good in the early game. Probably towards that late game, that those locations probably are not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Just because Adam will have so many ways to play a bunch of characters that have rush that are able to challenge into it. But in that early game, it's a little hard for Adam to deal with. I mean, so you might get like maybe 2 to 3 turns of lore gain, and that sometimes is just enough to get you to the end.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also worth mentioning, like, while that does, it picks up 2 or 3 lore, it distracts Adam, where like I said earlier with when Jake was playing against Emerald Steel, when you have to divide your resources to either deal with the location or deal with the characters, you're probably gaining double. Like, yeah, library is gaining you 2, but then these characters are also gaining you 2, and that library gains you more lore by just being a distraction for the characters, like being kind of like a wall, being like a, hey, come, like focus on me, like look at me, and I have 8 willpower, you have to deal with me, kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Especially
it's
when Adams like doesn't have a ton of character. I mean, he does, but they're like you said, like turns 5, 6, 7. Like is when he starts really seeing the characters with higher strength.
I gotta point out, shocker to no one, Adam does have a Hades in his hand.
I think he has 2. I think he does. I think that's as much as Adam loves to see Hades. I don't think 2 is what he wants to see in his opener.
yeah, he has 2 in his hand.
Now, to be fair, it is Blurple, and they do ramp, and they do have a ton of inkable cards and ways to ink uninkable cards. So I don't think it's too much of a detriment, as long as he does hit a couple of inkables in the next like 2 or 3 turns here.
I mean, he did get the sale though off the top from
Yeah,
Popsicle, which
that's
was
good.
nice. That he definitely needed that here.
He might have another one in his hand. I can't tell what's all the way in the left, but there is another blue card over there.
I couldn't tell if it was a TPO or if it was a sale. Those were
I think it's
the
just 2 sales.
okay, yeah, so
Okay.
2 sales.
He always had one, but this one being inkable was just, hey, this is free inkable, and I don't need it. He
Yeah.
does have a bell too in his hand, so he can Popsicle to play the bell for free, and he does have the shift target in his hand too.
He does have that. We do see the bell come down here, popping the Popsicle and playing the bell, and nothing really else after that.
I wonder if Adam's gonna try and shift this bell, or if he's just gonna sing Friends on the other side with it next turn.
Ooh, yeah, that could be an option that we see here. Is the shift, because this bell does shift. That's the one thing a lot of people forget is the bell. This bell can shift on top of other bells for 3, which is not bad.
Yeah. It's weird for Adam because he wants to get these Smees off the table. He might have to shoot. What I'm thinking, he can't let these Smees just run entirely free. Unfortunately, as
You know,
much as I think he wants to sing Friends, we'll have to see. He did get a Fox though, so maybe he can sing Friends.
we could do that. That's not that bad. But we're gonna ink the fox here, and debating on how we want to handle the board, we are going to shift into the bell, challenging into a Shmi and banishing it. But this bell is now sitting with 3 damage on it, so this is prime target of any character basically challenging into it.
Yeah, but I think Adam feels pretty safe, especially because we see in Jake's hand he's got 2 Calhouns, a goat, and a snake, so he's actually not under. Like this bell could now also take out the Smee. It can take out the Smee, and it's now 2 for 1. His opponent, well, not exactly 2 for 1, but because he's got the bell underneath, he had to play. But effectively 2 for 1ing these Smees, getting them off the table, being like, hey, I got both of them down with relative safety and not having to worry about like having all of them like to deal with at the same time.
Figuring out.
Trying to see what they're trying to figure out here.
Thinking on damage and going from there and figuring out what's happening. And we see just, I think Adam's still kind of just thinking here on what we want to do. If there's anything else he needs to do here, or are we waiting on Jake here?
I think.
Can't tell whose turn it is quite yet. If we pass it yet, we're just communicating about this. And we're still talking about it, figuring out. Okay, I think Jake is
Yeah, looks like
deciding what we're going to do here. I think he's trying to
okay,
decide
there
if
we
he
go.
wants to go with a
Trying to figure out whose turn it
goat.
is.
Yeah, that's why I was like, nothing's really happening here. I think it's his turn.
Yeah.
All right, so we get to see Shmi getting played and
Just
go for
replaying
there.
this Smee.
Yeah.
Trying to push as much lore as he possibly can before trying to protect that Smee from this bell that was played. Adam's got his work cut out for him. Oh, he could have moved the. Thank you. I didn't even see that. Yeah, Dan, he could have moved because Bell can move things from opposing characters to opposing characters. And so it's from any character
Oh.
to an opposing character. So he could have moved the 1 damage that Smee had over to that Diablo.
It is true. He could have. Yeah.
Unfortunately for Adam there. Hopefully it doesn't bite him too much. We'll have to see. Luckily he has another bell in his hand. Gets to get rid of the Smee and now takes out the Diablo. So gets there in the end anyway, taking out this Diablo just a little bit later than he would have liked.
Yeah.
This is looking okay now for Adam, though Jake does have a dock in his hand. So Adam does need to find a way to deal with these Calhouns without exposing himself too much. So, like you said, he has 2 Hades in his hands. So I mean, he's probably just gonna play Hades on these Calhouns if I'm real honest.
Yeah, and we're just gonna see an Elsa come down here, targeting one of these Calhouns and sending both these one bell into one and then the other into the snake here.
Yeah.
Kind of clearing the board. Now this does leave open for one of the bells to be challenged by this Calhoun, and taking it out, and then gaining the 2 lore on top of it. But they get to lose the Calhoun as well, so that is an option, and we get to see a dock now. Get to see this dock being played, drawing some more cards, which is another Elsa and a White Rose. So this is definitely a big plus. Debating on if we're gonna be doing the magic broom. Um,
Or Dylan. I think Jake is trying to decide if he wants.
the broom or not. Yeah, because he played the broom and
I
then
think he
played Doc.
started to, but I think Adam might think he missed the trigger.
Maybe.
I didn't see the timing on it. We
We're
can't hear what they're saying.
we're not having a shark incident.
No.
This is we're
We
not
have
gonna
a
do that.
table judge. He's looking
The
at it
judge
right
is
now.
sitting right there. Yes, the judge is there watching this and making sure everything is going through. Um, we can like faintly hear them in the background. I know you guys can't hear it, but we're like trying to hear exactly what's going on.
We're
They're like
listening
right in the other
ourselves.
room.
Being a little nosy.
So we're sorry if we're a little quiet here. We're trying to figure out okay what's exactly going on. They are. No, they're fine. It's just making I don't know what the argument was. But yeah, he's playing it. And there we go. We got our playing a white rose here, gaining some lore, trying to get up there, going up to I believe, yeah, 9.
And then I don't think Adam really minds if this happens, this trade that we were talking about earlier. He doesn't really mind. Yeah, he gains 2 lore, but at least it's not the 4 he would have gained with Calhoun earlier. And he does have a Hades he has 2 Hades in his hand, so if he finds an inkable, he can hopefully target down this dock, is what I would say. He knows he's been burned by this dock before. Does not want Jake to find anything else. He does have another Elsa, so he could do it with the Elsa too. I think my vote would be for the dock, but I could see the argument for the white rose too. He doesn't want Jake to be bouncing that and gaining triggers either. Yeah, takes that out. Decides that his opponent's at 11. Doesn't want to get got too bad by like Fox plus another white rose trigger and all that kind of stuff.
I think that's the kind of decision that you always have like remorse on. If it's
Yeah.
the wrong one, you made the wrong one, but if you made the right one, you look great.
Yeah. Well, Jake has 1 card in hand, and Adam has to go. Is it a Fox? Like seriously, like could it be a bounce? Like it's 1 card, and like what are the chances that that's the card he has for that, right? And bouncing either one is bad. It doesn't matter which one it is, right? So he just has to decide: do I care about him drawing cards? Do I care about the triggers? And being at 12, probably cares a little bit more about the trigger.
Yeah, those triggers are definitely going to be what's key here is just getting those cards triggered there. But we get to see this Hades again taking care of the genie and putting it into the inkwell here.
Unfortunately, I think he wants to use both of these Elsas to take out this dock. Unfortunately, I don't think he wants to lose the bell that can exert some actual pressure and start like actually winning the game, because he does need to start pushing to end the game. Though we know he has another Hades in his hand. I think it's the only card in his hand. He hasn't actually seen a ton of his draw, which is unfortunate for Adam. But Jake's also not doing too much over there, so I think he's okay. Like, okay, I'm gonna just have to try and race what Jake is doing, though Goat's going to make that a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's definitely something that might make things difficult here. And we see, of course, 2 Chernobyls and a goat coming down. But who cares? Because that Hades is being played, putting that card in the inkwell, and
Questing for a bunch.
not letting things stick.
Going to questing for 6 here, going to 8. Does have to really just like close this game before Jake can do too much. He's going to draw a bunch of cards with these Chernobyl followers. Has to be incredibly careful. Adam's skating a real thin line here.
Yeah, this
He's
is
a genie off the top.
This can be a rough spot for sure.
If I had how much money do I want to put that last card in Adam's hand is another genie or another Hades? I'd put good money on it.
You put good money on it? I don't know.
I didn't see it, but I'd pay good money.
If it was, it'd be funny. I'll give you that. I'll be like if that's a Hades, that's good. You better start like like put the winning jackpot numbers.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's Adam. Now Jake did see a Fox and a Doc, so he has to decide what he wants to do here. All right, so he's gonna just choose to use.
Maybe.
And he's got a white rose. So if Adam can't deal with this board state,
Yeah, he has some ways to get it.
go. What's the uninkable at the very least?
It is a Hades.
Another
It was a
Hades.
Hades. You were right. It
I need,
was a
I need to go
Hades.
buy a lottery ticket.
Even if you were wrong, you were right, because the Let It Go is just the 5th Hades.
That's what he said.
Oh my word!
And
this
now
is
he's gonna
great.
quest for 4, 5,
He
6,
goes to
7?
16
Goes
or
to
no,
six-
almost 60. Yes, 16. I think
goes to
15.
15. Yeah.
15.
And then he just has to hope that Jake doesn't get there. He's got a white rose in his hand. He's got this dock. So as long as he doesn't find,
He needs to find a giant cobra.
if he find
That's literally the answer.
or that goat. I think that goat does it too.
Well, he can't do too much if he plays the cobra. If he gets a cobra, that's ideally what. Oh, he gets
No.
both. Okay,
Yeah,
so
'cause
never
he
mind,
goes to
gets both,
18,
never mind.
yeah.
I was thinking of both.
Just
but
got
yeah.
there. Drew the goat off the top.
Wow.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's
That's the aim.
so we're going for Jake and Patrick on our finals.
That is right. We have Jake and Patrick for a final. That was a great match.
Yeah.
You know, that was a very great match of seeing these two decks and coming through here. It was really fun.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have Jake stay right where he is for a third time in a row here. He's doing real good on his top eight journey here.
Yeah.
We're just gonna bring Patrick in, so I don't
Think
think
we're
we're
gonna be
gonna
ready for
go
that.
anywhere quite yet.
Yeah, no, I mean this has definitely been a fun top 8 seeing these decks here. And of course, I think Adam's been dethroned.
Yeah,
He's been
unfortunately.
dethroned. He's been winning set champs. I think this is 2 in a row that he won. The last 2 he won in a row. I believe. And then this would have been his 3rd if he got here. But
Trying to pull the hat trick.
sadly no, he didn't.
Let's
was
not
trying
forget,
to.
he won the first one.
Yeah,
He
that's
did
true.
win our first one.
'Cause
That
I
is
was
correct.
runner-up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did win the first one. I will say. He did do that.
Hey, listen, I got my one set champs win, and I retired. I retired champion.
Hey,
I'm good.
I gotta get mine. I'm next. I'm next in the line at some point. Just not today.